Welcome to Course Selection 2019-2020. Today will be the beginning of the course selection process for the 2019-2020 school year. You are in homeroom today in order to receive the necessary materials for course selection, as well as to listen to instructions for how to complete this process. Today's presentation consists of two parts. This is part one, which is a general presentation for all grade levels. Part two is a grade level specific presentation that will address course options. After listening to the general presentation that contains very important information, please select the appropriate grade level presentation in order to hear instructions for completing your course selection card. Today, your homeroom teacher will give you the following materials: a course selection card, a transcript of your grades, a graduation requirements chart, and a career and technical education career pathways chart. Upperclassmen will also receive an advanced placement information sheet. Extra AP information sheets can be picked up in Student Services and are also posted on our website. As soon as you receive your card and transcript, please staple your transcript behind your course selection card so that the colored card is on top and the side where you will print your name is on top. The transcript must remain stapled to the card at all times so that counselors can access it during your one-on-one meeting. Please do not remove the transcript from the course selection card. Go ahead and write your name in the space provided on your card as soon as you receive your materials. You may use a pen or pencil, but please write neatly so that your name can be easily read. Several high school planning guides will be given to each homeroom, but each student will not receive their own personal copy. The planning guides are available online and through a link on Butler's website as well as CMS's website. The planning guides can be used to look up course descriptions and prerequisites for courses, as well as flowcharts to aid in the sequencing of courses. Please note that Butler does not offer every course listed in the planning guide. Students can only choose courses listed on their specific course selection card. At this time, please refer to the graduation requirements chart that you have been given so that you can follow along as I review graduation requirements. It is important to review graduation requirements and your transcript of courses earned as you select your courses to ensure that you register for the necessary courses. You can see towards the middle of your chart that a total of 24 credits are required for graduation. The chart breaks down those 24 credits by the categories you see listed. Everyone needs 4 English courses and should progress in the order of English 1, English 2, English 3, and English 4. Everyone needs 4 math credits, but the exact math courses may differ depending upon level of ability. The usual progression would be Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, and a 4th math such as AFM or Pre-Calculus. There are alternate courses available as needed. Please refer to page 30 in the course planning guide for information regarding math selections. Everyone needs 3 science credits, which includes an Earth Environmental Science course, biology, and a physical science. The Earth Environmental Science requirement can be fulfilled by taking the Earth Environmental Science course or AP Environmental Science. The physical science requirement can be fulfilled by taking chemistry, physics, or physical science. Everyone needs 4 social studies courses, which are World History, Civics and Economics, American History 1, and American History 2. Students may choose to replace American History 1 and 2 with AP United States History, but if this option is chosen, you must also complete an elective social studies course from an approved list. There are 2 new social studies electives being added for next year: African American Studies and Latin American Studies. Please see page 33 in the course planning guide for information regarding social studies courses. Everyone must pass his or her health and PE course. This course is typically scheduled in the freshman year, but occasionally may be scheduled later for some students. The required health and PE course does not include elective PEs such as strength training or lifetime sports and fitness. Everyone must complete 8 elective courses, with 2 being selected from amongst the fine arts, world languages, or career and technical education areas. At this time, we will review high school promotion standards in order to learn how many credits are needed to be promoted from one grade level to the next. Please refer to page 14 in the planning guide. Students must earn a total of any 6 credits to be promoted from 9th to 10th grade. Students must have a cumulative total of 12 credits at the end of 10th grade to be promoted to the 11th grade. Those 12 credits must include English 1 and 2 and Math 1. Students must have earned a cumulative total of 18 credits at the end of the 11th grade to be promoted to 12th grade. Please note that while credits earned in middle school count towards your graduation total, they do not count for promotion purposes. We will now switch gears a bit to discuss course rigor. We would love for all students to challenge themselves by taking a level of rigor that is appropriate for them individually. Taking honors or AP classes should be carefully considered as they require a high level of commitment. They both move at a much faster pace and require more work. Work ethic is a huge part of being successful in both of these levels. AP courses are true college-level courses. They require a higher level of maturity, as often class discussions are seminar style, as they are in college. Large amounts of reading are required outside of class, as well as a great deal of writing, which can mean hours of homework each night. Students are expected to take the College Board's AP exams at the end of each AP course. The exam scores can determine eligibility for college credit. Some students received letters recently advising them of their potential ability in specific AP courses. The data in these letters was gathered from PSAT results and is intended to encourage students to consider if AP courses are a good academic fit for them personally. You are not limited to just the courses that were listed in your letter. You may have already taken a course that is recommended in the letter. We do not share your course data with the College Board, so they are unaware of which courses you may have already enrolled in. You can still register for AP courses even if you did not receive a letter. Remember that selecting challenging courses can be advantageous for things such as preparation for college, but it is a serious commitment that should not be taken lightly. I would like to advertise an opportunity that is available to you tomorrow night regarding advanced placement courses. Please note that in addition to open house for rising 9th graders that is scheduled for tomorrow night, which will be Thursday, January 24th, there will also be an information session for students who are considering taking AP courses next year. This program is intended for any students and their parents who are considering taking AP courses but would like more information before making the commitment. At this session, you will have the opportunity to learn about the expectations in AP courses, predictors of success, and the expected workload and time commitment for these courses. You will have the opportunity to speak with teachers about specific course content. The program starts promptly at 6 p.m. in the Media Center. Students should carefully consider levels in each subject area. You can select higher levels in subjects in which you have stronger ability and interest, while maybe selecting standard levels in subjects in which you may typically struggle. If you have had to attend summer school or credit recovery for a particular subject, that may not be the subject to choose for honors or AP levels. If you have earned A's and B's in certain subjects, that may be the area where you could try some higher levels. It is not advised to jump from a standard level one year to an AP level the next without trying an honors level first. Math is an area to be careful when switching levels. If you took standard level Math 1 and 2, it is not advised to switch to honors level for Math 3 as you have missed specific course content. However, if a math teacher feels strongly and recommends this particular switch, it could be permitted as long as you are able to learn the missed material prior to taking the course. Please talk with your current and/or past teachers for advisement on course levels. University minimum admissions requirements. Minimum admissions requirements for four-year universities may require some courses that are not required to graduate from high school. Higher maths and world languages are two such areas. Advanced functions and modeling, referred to as AFM, or pre-calculus are not necessarily specific high school graduation requirements for every student, but they are required for admission to four-year universities. Students who are four-year college-bound must complete a math beyond Math 3. It must be a math that requires Math 3 as a prerequisite. Although world languages are not specifically required for high school graduation, most four-year universities require a minimum of 2 years of the same world language to be completed in high school. The more selective the university, the more years of a world language they will expect you to complete. Course rigor is a major part of college admissions. Students that have completed a challenging course load and have been successful in those courses will have a higher likelihood of being accepted. Making C's, D's, and F's can jeopardize chances of acceptance. Please note that a cumulative weighted GPA of 2.5 is required for acceptance to all state universities in North Carolina. Please note that this is a minimum GPA requirement. A competitive GPA is often much higher than a 2.5. Academic merit scholarships require much higher GPAs. World language. Butler offers 2 world languages, Spanish and French. In addition to Spanish and French, we also offer a program for heritage or native Spanish speakers. It is intended that 90% of language classes will be taught in the target language. Beginning Level 1 Spanish and French courses are intended for students with very limited previous experience in the target language. These courses are not recommended for any students who speak Spanish or French as their first language. Spanish 2 and French 2 courses follow successful completion of Level 1 language courses and are intended for students that have a solid command of the language learned in Level 1. Level 2 courses are not recommended for any students who speak Spanish or French as their first language. Spanish 3 and French 3 courses are intended for students who have a solid command of the material learned in Levels 1 and 2 and are also recommended for any student who does speak French or Spanish as their first language, but does not have a solid command of reading and writing in the language. Level 4 of Spanish and French is recommended for students who have successfully completed previous levels or for whom Spanish or French is a first language and has a competent command of writing and reading the language. Level 5 AP Spanish or French is intended for students that have a solid foundation from previous levels. It is also recommended for students for which Spanish or French is a first language and have an advanced command of writing and reading the language since the course is taught on a college level. The Spanish for Native Speakers courses are intended for all students in which Spanish is the first language. Native speakers of Spanish should register for these courses. Please see a Spanish teacher for questions and clarification. These classes are specifically designed for native speakers and will be taught differently than a class that is designed for English speakers. The focus is less on grammar and more on actually using the language. You will get to focus on conversation, culture, geography, history, and how to use Spanish properly. You will also receive honors credit for the second level of Spanish for native speakers. Students will be able to access Spanish 4 and AP Spanish 5 after successful completion of Spanish for Native Speakers 1 and 2. NCAA Clearinghouse. If you're an athlete that intends to play sports at the Division I or II college level, you need to be sure to register with NCAA at least by junior year at ncaa.org. You also need to be aware of the types of courses the NCAA will use to determine your eligibility to play at the college level. You should examine these course requirements prior to completing your course selections to make sure you have enough of the specific courses that are required. Their requirements are different than Butler's graduation requirements. Also, please be aware that the NCAA will not accept courses completed through credit recovery. This means courses that are failed must be retaken as a new course that includes the full course content. Credit recovery summer school courses will not be accepted. If students intend to attend summer school for a failed course in which they will repeat as new coursework, they must receive prior approval from their school counselor on the appropriate form. The form asks for certification that a course will be new coursework and will have the appropriate number of hours to fulfill requirements for an entire course, not the shortened version used in credit recovery. CMS does not offer new coursework for failed courses in summer school for underclassmen. Some private schools offer new coursework. Homeroom teachers. At this time, please select the next presentation that is appropriate for your grade level homeroom. If you have a 9th grade homeroom, you should select the presentation for rising 10th graders. If you have a 10th grade homeroom, you should select the presentation for rising 11th graders. If you have an 11th grade homeroom, you should select the presentation for rising 12th graders.